Yes, we are.
All right, fantastic. Well, for those of you who are watching us out on LinkedIn, you're wondering why in the heck are Jake Rozmaryn and Nico Johnson from Antenna and SunCast looking like avatars? We are live inside of the virtual world of Midwest Solar Expo. This is the pre-show, and tomorrow we will have the beginning of two fantastic, fun-filled days of, to our knowledge, the first solar conference to be held as an e-conference format in a virtual world. We've all been anticipating this experience and this day. Thank you so much to Jake, the Midwest Solar team, the Antenna team, for so much hard work. Give you guys a round of applause. You'll see us kind of trying to figure out exactly how all the avatar functionality works. There are short codes and keyboard keystrokes. You who have been in here before or who have been gamers this will feel very comfortable and normal for you. And if you are sitting around wondering what the heck are they doing, well, I just encourage you to come in, cruise around like the Solar Coaster guys have been doing, get to know the campus, get to know other folks that you might casually come upon as you would at any trade show, at any event for that matter. And Jake and I are doing this pre-show in a way to not only test our systems, make sure everything is going well, but also to give a bit of an overview of what you can expect from the show, how you can get comfortable with what's happening here. I'm spinning around just so it sort of directs your attention to these wonderful screens as well. We've got a lot happening, a huge agenda, which we'll go through a little bit here, certainly from some highlights. But first and foremost, if you're unfamiliar for whatever reason, if you're watching this on LinkedIn or one of the other social media platforms like Facebook, my name is Nico Johnson. I'm the host and creator of SunCast, which is a podcast that introduces folks to the world of clean energy and also to the path that many leaders have taken in this industry, from entrepreneur to intrapreneur, and leaders like creating their companies, creating organizations that are changing the way the energy infrastructure works. And Jake from Antenna Group is a close friend of mine and the founder and co-founder director of Midwest Solar Expo. We've been thinking a lot about how to collaborate, and we're going to be doing a daily show, not unlike for those who were at Solar Power International, like Glenda and I did in the mornings, that announce kind of what are the highlights of the day, what are the things you should be thinking about or getting excited about. And this year we're proud to have the daily show as well as this pre-show partnered by LG. So I say sponsored. LG is a partner in this. They're going to be also joining us on stage. Brian Lynch will be here tomorrow, and we'll be going through some macro environment things around the industry, what folks are thinking about and experiencing, as we've all been experiencing the pandemic and been shut in far too long. As we start getting comfortable with this space, one of the things that Jake and I wanted to do in the pre-show was give you an idea of how and why Midwest Solar Expo exists. Talk a little bit about the evolution of the show. But Jake, could you give us some background of the show, how long it's been around, and we'll get into some of the ways that it has become a much bigger show than, of course, it was in its infancy.
Of course. So, well, let's just see who here has been to the Midwest Solar Expo before. You can raise your hand on the bottom of the screen. There's a raise hand button. Let's see.
I love it.
All right, yeah, we got a good amount of hands. So it's Midwest Solar Expo. Milton there. Milton's. I think every year. I think we've had. And the Roof Tech team, we've always appreciated Milton's support. But the show's been around for 7 years, and the original goal for the show was pretty simple. The Midwest solar markets were new; they were, everything was just getting started. You had policy wins in the market that people were really excited about, but the markets were still very, very small. And I was actually got started in the industry in the DC solar scene. So had a chance to see what the larger markets were looking like, as to see how these markets were taking off on the East and West Coast. And what we wanted to do was ultimately get more activity into the markets. And so we built a conference with the goal of helping to bridge the coast to the middle of the country, bring in the companies that were, had that experience building solar projects, at residential, commercial, utility scale, to help drive some of that momentum in the Midwest market. So it was very much a show that was designed to connect people, to bridge companies, to bridge executives in the industry. I think our first year we had 100, 150 people. And then over the years have grown the show. I think our largest year was about 500 people. And so, we've always had a really nice mix of attendees from developers, installers, manufacturers, financiers, really companies up and down the supply chain. We've expanded to add energy storage and energy management, EV charging infrastructure. All of the the show has certainly grown with all of the exciting developments in the industry. Here we are today in a world where we've got this new normal, and we're really motivated to have the show go on. And we said, can we create a platform that is going to help people get back to business? That was our prereq for doing the show this year. It was, instead of postponing or canceling, can we create an environment for people to network and learn in a way that is familiar, even though this might feel super unfamiliar. But I think everyone's gonna get a kick out of this.
Yeah, it's a really interesting format, and we were joking a little earlier, Jason and Josh and I, about how we've been walking around the show, as it were, the campus here inside Arbella, and chancing upon others as though we were actually in a community and walking around finding new people, interesting people to engage with. I think that is one of the things that I'm hoping folks can expect or anticipate, is as you walk around the campus and join us in various rooms or auditoriums here for Midwest Solar Expo, you will come across folks not only that you might want to know, and you can schedule meetings and find many countless places here to have a private conversation and to just enjoy yourself, but also you'll bump into folks that are friends that, frankly, you haven't had a chance to see maybe since SPI. Jake, as we think about the schedule for tomorrow, and we'll also go through some of the fancy and funky ways to move your avatar around the site as well. But as we think about what people should expect, are there any highlights that you would like to sort of key in on in terms of what this show format is? And this would be a good time to think about how and why you chose to do it in a virtual format rather than what everyone else has been doing, Zoom, summits like we did for SunCast, seeing people's actual faces rather than seeing an avatar.
Yeah, well, we wanted to do something different. I think when we have a lot of content at the show, we have a lot of networking at the show. That's really what's defined it. And so when we're looking at all the organizations that have started doing Zoom conferences and Zoom events, and which I think a lot of that has been great, but it hasn't facilitated the same type of networking opportunities that we are hoping to get at the Midwest Solar. The show has always been about, so we did want to do something just really different, right? So we're all in this experiment together, and that was certainly exciting for us. But when I look at the agenda now, I think we've got 70 speakers in the event, between panelists, keynote presentations, featured speakers, fast talks. We've got all different kinds of content going on right now at the event. It's awesome. So we've got packed days ahead. And it was this format lend itself better to the freedom that you get at a regular conference, right? I think sitting in a Zoom for 8 hours is not easy. But if you can kind of navigate freely around a conference, if you can, bounce between sessions, if you can, walk around the expo floor, walk over to people, some, friends or new faces, and have a chance to meet people and interact in different ways, that's exciting, and that's what we were looking to achieve. When I look at the agenda, this has been a Midwest show from the beginning, and so the content has been predominantly focused since the beginning. This year, it's a little different because of the format. We've been able to change that a little bit and broaden it to more of a national audience. And we have some content that we added that was focused on doing business during COVID and sort of operating within normal. But some sessions that really stood out to me, anything where we can make that deep dive on the Midwest market, is really compelling. So, we have Peter Kelly Detweiler here, going to be doing some interviews during the conference, and he's going to be interviewing David Schaefer from SIA. And SIA is a organization, has been doing amazing work on the policy side in Minnesota. And they've been a great partner of the show over the years. So that's one that I think is going to be really informative, really well spoken, really big solar champion. So excited to have him on the stage with PKD, who's always a great interviewer and really interesting guy, who will also be presenting at the conference. One panel that I'm particularly excited about is moderated by Julian White. That's called Conflicting Interests, and it's called Conflicting Interests: Residential versus Commercial versus Community versus Utility, which is kind of a mouthful for a title. That being said, there are some real divisions between the markets, and so I'm excited for the I like panels that have a little controversy, so I think it's going to be fun to hear different stakeholders duke it out during that session. And then we've got some, just keynote speakers from, real solar champions, right? We've got Adam Brown, Vote Solar, phenomenal organization. If you're not familiar, I'm sure most people are more familiar with Vote Solar. If you're not familiar, definitely recommend learning more about them and their work and listen to Adam. Dan Sugar, who's actually spoken. He spoke at the Midwest Solar Expo in the past, and we're excited to have him back. Next Chapter is doing phenomenal work to bring technology to the forefront of this industry, and they're doing a ton of work now in the Midwest. So excited to have Dan talk about what companies in the Midwest can be doing to get the most out of their projects, increase value, increase generation from the project, increase the ROI of their project. So I think it's going to be great to have Dan back at the show. But yeah, we've got dozens of sessions. At any point there's going to be between 1 and 3 sessions running concurrent. So look at the agenda. You can see the agenda on the Midwest Solar Expo website. You can see the agenda on the Bizbo app. If you're not familiar with the Bizbo app, that is our conference app where you can message attendees and see the agenda, get show announcements, things like that. And so, yeah, curious to hear what people are looking forward to at the conference this year.
Well, it's a lot on the agenda for folks to consume. Certainly, folks will be dropping in and out as they do in any traditional conference. I wonder, Jake, if you could give us a bit of a sense of the general campus. There are a few auditoriums. Folks are going to populate, certainly for those who are watching this, maybe on LinkedIn or some other external platform right now. When you come into the Verbella world, what can you expect first and foremost? And are people able to see us inside the world, or is it just the avatar? Are there any troubleshooting tips and places people can go to get help if they need it?
Yeah, so we have our user guide that we sent out. There's a variety of tips in that document. If you're having more technical issues, then there's certainly places. There's certainly links and lots of people around that links we can send, and lots of people around that can help with that troubleshooting. But yeah, when you enter the world, you're in the welcome center. that'll put you on the main promenade. And off of that, we've got, areas for private meetings. Anytime you see a table with blue lines around it, that means it's either a broken line or a solid blue line. That means it's a private area. So anytime you want to, break away and have that private conversation, no shortage of place to do that. I know at conferences, I'm always looking for, that couch or something I can, hide around it. Always hard to find, right? So there's no shortage of those at the Midwest Solar Expo virtual campus, which is cool. And off of that promenade, you've got the exhibit hall, you've got 3 main session rooms, 3 main auditoriums. If you're not familiar, you can teleport to any area in the campus. If you go on the top left of your screen, there's a go-to menu. And so you can go and click into different areas. Now that I've said that, we're going to see like five seats just here. So you can walk around the campus, you can teleport around the campus. When you're in a room, actually, just as to folks in the room, if you want to see screens behind us, or if you want to get a whole stage view, if you look at the top of your screen, there's a little drop down for screen zoom. So if you're looking to into any one screen or get a whole stage view or podium view, it's a great little tip if you're not familiar. Anything, any of you have any questions, need any help with anything, we've got 10 plus team members here at any point in time to help out. And so we're excited. We're working really hard to make sure that everyone has a really great experience, but we're using very new technology. We're not just one of the first in the industry, we're one of the first in the country to be using this technology for this event. So, very certainly aligned with the innovative nature of the solar industry, right? So being pioneers on the virtual conference front, as well as on the future of energy front, right? So yeah.
Jake, as we begin to wrap up the daily show here, again, I want folks to remember that the show is starting at 9:10 tomorrow, formally, with PKD's kickoff. His keynote will be here at about 8:30 Central. So a little early for those of you in California. 8:30 Central will be kicking off, 8:30, 8:35, with the first SunCast morning show, giving you a bit of another intro and overview of what to expect from the show, as well as touching on some highlights, as you mentioned, from Brian and Rex over at solar.com about how to do a backflip, how to cross your arms in confusion. No, seriously, we will be here to give everyone that welcome that you'd expect into a virtual world. I'm brushing up on my comedy. I won't drop any of that on you all right now. And we will be expecting that as folks come in and out of the show, they'll be getting more and more familiar with the different rooms. One of the things that I thought was really cool is around just about every area or zone of the world, there are these meeting rooms and meeting spaces, as Jake pointed out, and you can close the room. You can actually make it your own private meeting space for a moment, and the audio from within that room can't be heard by anyone else as long as that room is locked. So for those of you who are coming in and you might be wanting to have a conversation, maybe Tor and I will go in and catch up on some client work, or you maybe run into someone and you want to have a private conversation. Instead of saying, hey, why don't we jump off and get on a phone call? You can walk around and find one of those private rooms. You can lock that private room. You can have a conversation in full confidence that it's not being recorded. It's not being heard by others around you. I think that at first blush, that might seem like one of those things where you're just not sure if you want to trust it. We've tested it extensively inside of the world here, as it were, and you should feel confident that just like in any other meeting space, you can carve out a great conversation, a great meeting experience here. The other, as you may have noticed, especially for those of you who are new into the world, is we have this thing called directional audio. So the closer I get to Jake, the louder he and I sound to one another. The closer or further away from you I get, similarly, the audio will trail off. When you leave the outside world, as you know, to experience, and come into an auditorium, you'll not hear anymore the ambient sounds of the ocean lapping on the shore. I'd like to know maybe we could open it up in the chat down on the bottom left where it says public. You can feel free to pop in questions. If you have specific questions for Jake, we've got you all muted for the moment. Jake, what has you, we all imagine that you and the Midwest Solar Expo team are super excited. Not only is this novel, but you have a great lineup of guests. What are you nervous about? How would you might maybe reflect some of the things that you're anticipating? Maybe they aren't going to go perfect, but we are all in this experiment together.
I think that's exactly right. It's we are all in an experiment, truly. This is so new. This is really new technology, and this technology is going to be way better in 6 months, and it's going to really blow people's minds in a year, right? So bear with us. There's technical fixes for all of the little things here and there that are going to come up. So I think when the thing I'm nervous about is just making sure that everyone is able to make the technology and be able to help everyone address any little issues here and there quickly. But super excited to have everyone join us for this experiment. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be different. We've got a couple of boats around the campus, so I recommend people take those out. But yeah, I think that's the just getting people to bear with us on the technical side of things and help other people out as you see them, because everyone can get a different level of comfortability. So let it to the person next to you, help them get comfortable. The way we see it is this isn't going to be going away anytime soon. Even in a post-COVID world, we see the opportunity for sort of virtual twins of events, and that's the direction it's going. So yeah, just that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be quite an experience. We're all looking forward to it. Thank you as well to you and the Midwest Solar Expo team for inviting us here, not only into this experience, but inviting us to participate in the experiment with you. We are looking forward to tomorrow. Having seen, actually, let's see, I was on the wrong tab. There are a couple of questions. Nope, looks like we're good. I was going to leave it open to another question or two, but next is the opening ceremonies, right, Jake? Where's that going to be?
Yes, so it's going to be on the beach. It's going to spill over into some other areas. So we can all head over there right after this session's supposed to get started, and in just a minute. I see, real quick, I see in the audience here, Jeff Stenrick out to my left. Jeff is actually, got to call out Jeff. Jeff is a co-founder of the Midwest Solar Expo.
Yeah.
It was our baby, our project 7 years ago. So if you have any questions about all of the fires and all the fire drills over the years, Jeff is a great person for that. Yeah, any questions, let us know. Tour, will beer be served? I'm hoping everyone brings. I'm hoping everyone has their drink ready to go. But yeah, it is BYOB. Yes, Jonathan, you've got it. So yeah, well, let's
head out 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years, Jeff. Right. Awesome. So we're gonna head over there. You can go in the go-to menu. At the bottom of the go-to menu is the Solar Beach. And we'll be around there. We'll be hanging out. There's a soccer field right next to the beach. We'll have probably spilling over to there. Yeah, so looking forward to it. Thanks everyone so much for joining us at this really cool event. Questions, issues, anything, find me, find Sharona, find someone else with MWSE staff in their title. And enjoy. Yeah. To close it out. All right, so we are gonna go. So again, to get over there, you go to the go-to menu on the top left, and then Solar Beach.
There's PJ. Nice, PJ.
Yeah. Let's see some dances. Let's see who's got their dance moves down. I don't know if you can dance while sitting. You might have to stand up.
Everybody's dipping out. Oh, there goes Sharona. All righty. We'll see you guys all over on the beach.
All right. See you everyone at the beach. All right. Bye now.